Once upon a time, in a land full of good and evil, justice and injustice, lived a man whose name was Phil. Phil lived in a land called Canamobob. Phil made his profession as a lumberjack. Every day, Phil went into the forest and chopped down trees and stuff. Every day, on his way back from lumberjacking, he passed by the candy shop. Phil, like most lumberjacks do, liked candy. Every day he would pass by this candy shop and get a new kind of candy each time. But this time, there was no new candy for him to eat. So Phil and the Candyman sang a song complete with a very well choreographed dance routine, in which the Candyman told Phil about the best candy he had ever eaten. You see, he knew one candy maker that lived all the way at the top of the Misty Mountains. Phil, of course, was overjoyed by this news. But of course, Phil had never ventured out of his homeland of Camperlinton. I don't remember what I called it. But Phil was always ready for an adventure, so Phil ran out of the candy shop, leaving his lumber behind, and ran toward the Misty Mountains as fast as he could. And he kept running, and he kept running, and he kept running, and he kept running until he stopped. He stopped because he was running on a minefield thing, and the land collapsed in, and he fell. After being unconscious for who knows how many hours, he woke up to find himself in a dusty, dark mine. It would have been easy to climb out of the cave, but Phil was still motivated to get this candy. He found one of those mine cart things, and he decided to ride it. When later asked about it, Phil described the feeling as a cross between a roller coaster and a piggyback ride by Chuck Norris. But when Phil finally found his way to the end of the track, he looked down the Rocky Mountains below and saw that he was almost halfway there. He went out of his minecart and found a river. And then he befriended a turtle named Fred, who managed to get him across the river to the very top of the mountain. Later, Fred and Phil became best of friends. So Phil decided to take Fred along with him to get the candy. He had to carry him because Fred was really slow. Because, you know, he was like a turtle and stuff. They looked around the edges of the top of the Misty Mountain. And what did they find? And yes, I did get my hairs cut. I also got a new hat. And Danabug, thank you for your compensation. Okay, goodbye.